Calories in versus calories out. We've all heard this when it comes to weight loss, but what is a calorie? In this video, I'm going to explain to you what a calorie is and how many you need to consume in order to achieve weight loss. A calorie is just a measurement of energy from the foods and the drinks that we consume, and it is equivalent to that of the amount of energy that's needed to heat up 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree. We get these calories from 3 main macronutrients, and that is carbs, fats, and proteins. We get about 4 calories per a gram of protein, about 4 calories per a gram of carbs, and 9 calories from a gram of fats. The big question is, how many calories should I eat? Well, it really depends. There's so many factors that are involved in calculating each person's calorie requirement. Factors that can affect how many calories you need: your height and your weight, the two most basic things. Then you have your physical fitness levels. Your job may even affect the requirement. Somebody who works at a desk will definitely have a different calorie requirement from someone who works in construction. And then of course your hormones, the enzymes in your body, they all vary person to person. So these are all factors that are going to affect how many calories you need. Also your age and your lifestyle. The bottom line is everybody needs a different amount of calories on a daily basis, and ultimately it's actually not an exact science. Although it's really important to count calories when you're considering weight loss, you should always do it in such a way that you're ballparking that figure, because the calorie count on labels and in guides is just the potential energy of this food in that particular amount. It is not the exact caloric content of what you have in your hands. In fact, government bodies such as Health Canada in Canada and the FDA in the US and other countries will actually give a 200 calorie discrepancy for labeling, because it isn't an exact science. It's just an estimation of the potential energy of these foods. So if you combine this knowledge with the fact that everyone requires a different amount of calories per day, you can see why a one fits all does not work when it comes to counting calories at all. Taking that even a step further, you're going to see that even for an individual, once you have a ballpark figure, you're going to have to play around with it until you hit that sweet spot that you find that works for you. Calorie counting should be utilized as a tool and an aid, not strictly rely on for weight loss. Everyone has an ideal calorie intake per day. Of that whole, 10% is used for digestion, 20% for your daily activities, and 70% that support your basal metabolic rate, which is essentially the calories required for your body to function. So if you were just laying at rest and you just were breathing easily, not moving, that amount of calories required for the day is your basal metabolic rate. So the total of these calories is what's known as your total daily energy expenditure. That's the full amount of calories that you need in a day. How many calories do you need to lose weight? Essentially, you want to figure out at this moment in time, how many calories would you need to consume on a daily basis to maintain the weight that you are right now. Not the weight that you want to be, the weight that you are right now. So you sit down and you figure that out based on your height, your weight, and your level of physical activity, and you go from there. From that whole number, you subtract 500 calories. This 500 calorie deficit on a daily basis will average you about a pound a week of fat loss. And this is where you want to stick to. Anything too much or too little, to me personally, I think is extreme. And I find that most people can't support that type of weight loss. And it's also better for keeping fat loss off in the long term and giving your body time to adjust, to not really mess too much with your metabolism. The goal here is to get healthy and fit, not to just have this extreme weight loss. And if you really look into, a lot of the social experiments and shows, people who go through extreme fat loss end up regaining the majority of their weight. So you want to take it easy, take it slow, and a good ballpark figure is 500 calories a day. Now this deficit should come about 250 from your food and the other 250 from exercise. That to me is the sweet spot for fat loss. That's how I did it, and I stand firm by it. I feel amazing, I feel good. Everyone's gonna have a different journey. Absolutely, everyone will have a different experience with their weight loss. And the key here is once you figure out your calories for current weight maintenance, and you subtract that 500, You're gonna wanna track this. Ideally an app like FitnessPal, and just track this and stay within that ballpark figure. You're gonna want to track this for about a month and see how the results are at the end of it. You may need to fine tune and adjust, but you want to see how you're doing and then tweak accordingly, and that's the ideal. Everyone going into calorie tracking isn't going to have the same result for very, very many reasons. So you really want to pay attention to what's happening, how you're progressing, and then adjust accordingly. It's really critical that you get your calories from nutrient-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, high-quality proteins. And you're gonna wanna avoid empty calories, so things like pop, sugary drinks from junk food like chips, sweets, candy, donuts, things that are high in calorie but have zero or very little nutritional value. You want to eliminate those things because they're just not going to benefit you, and in fact they're going to set you back. Again, I would recommend sticking to a calorie range, not a specific number, because it's not an exact science. Ideally, you just want to stick to that range as much as you can, and if you go a little bit over, if you're a little bit under, that's okay. And overall, it'll balance itself out, but I would recommend staying within a 200 calorie range once you calculate your calories, and really just don't obsess with it. Take your time and do it properly, and you will get to where you want to be. I've done that, and I am really proud and happy of where I am, and you can be too. As far as adjusting your calories as you progress in your weight loss, I would say do it about every 10 pounds or 20 pounds, depending on how much weight you have to lose. Don't overdo it. Or when you see changes in your measurements and your weight, stop. Once you see that you're plateauing, then you want to make that adjustment. That's when it's really the time to adjust your food intake. And I feel like a lot of people miss this part. They continuously stay at a same calorie range, the same macronutrients, expecting results after their body has adjusted and, lost the weight. Now they're just at maintenance. So ideally, you always want to adjust as you progress. Don't do it too often. It's not really going to change too drastically. So just take your time, make sure you're doing this the right way, and you'll get to where you're going, I promise. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram where I post daily motivation. And if you'd be kind enough to share this with your friends and family so they can learn a little thing or two about the foods we consume and about weight loss. Somebody else might be wanting to undertake a journey and this could be of help to them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you back here shortly. Take care.